All right, let's go. Ready? And I'm going to bring you right in because I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dan the UltraDad here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you can hear me. So if you can't, please let me know. I know we have a few people in here. Looks like we have 5 people in the room. Sorry for the delay. Completely my fault. I'm basically trying a new thing with this software for live streaming, and so it has been certainly a little bit challenging, but I do like it. I hope you like the format. And of course, as you know, we have Steven Cornhouse here with us. Welcome, Steve.
What's up, Dan? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, actually, Steven, I call you Steven, but do you go by Steve or Steven?
Steven, usually.
Steven? Okay, Steven.
Yep.
Um, I completely understand that. Great. Thank you so much, Chad. It's good to see you in there, man. See Chad Run is here, and thanks for being so patient. Uh, Chad has his own channel, and I love it. It's a great channel. I wish I lived where he did, though, in Colorado.
Oh, I know, right? Gosh, those trails look awesome.
Yeah, and I've watched a couple of his videos with his kids and stuff. So that's kind of the flavor of my channel as well, with the Ultra Dad and everything. So it's good to see you, Chad, and anyone else who might be a part of the stream right now. It looks like we have 4 people in. I think 2 of them are Steven and me. So and then there's Chad. So somebody else is there.
I see Kevin from California.
Hey,
What's up,
Kevin.
Kevin?
What's going on, Kevin? Welcome to the stream. Oh, that's right. I see you at the top of the chat. So thanks again for joining us again. Sorry for being late, but tonight I was very, very excited to get Steven back on the schedule. So thanks again, Steven, for joining us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's been, I think the last time we did a stream together was the Western States Lottery, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was. It was. That was a
Yeah,
good time too. I
that
really
was
enjoyed
fun.
that. Yeah.
That
Did
was fun.
I didn't get in, but that's okay.
I know, right? None of us got in. We'll have more lotteries in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just picked up my beverage of choice tonight, which is some Celestial tea. Do you have a beverage in front of you there, Steven, or not?
Just some water,
Mm,
hydrating. Got a speed workout tomorrow.
that's right. Is that your last speed workout until your marathon?
Yeah, that's right. I think during the race week I have like some really short fartleks, but tomorrow is the last pretty good workout.
Okay. I just actually just watched your video. I think you probably made it yesterday. It was your run out there with the cows, I think,
Yeah.
and
Yep, that's right.
you mentioned that you're tapering, so that's pretty exciting. And for those of you who are on the chat, Chad and Kevin and whoever else might be in there, welcome back to the channel. Oh, looks like Tim's there. My buddy Tim, Endurance 83, and Cheryl. Welcome, Cheryl.
Hey
Um,
everybody.
yeah. So Tim actually ran Mohican with me last year,
Oh
and
wow.
he's actually going to come back and run it again this year with me and with a couple other YouTubers too. So it's going to be a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, so I know you and I think Ryan's going
Yep.
back, isn't he?
Ryan Day.
And
Yep.
who is I cannot remember is it Ryan? The I Run on Beer, is he going again?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
That's the Ryan I'm talking about. Yeah, Ryan Day.
Oh, okay.
Um, and who else? You said
I was thinking Ryan Clayton, but no, I don't know if he's going to that one or not.
well, there was some talk about it, but no, I don't think he is.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible. It's not on his calendar as far as I know. I was actually chatting with Kofuzi a little bit, trying to egg him on, get him to go to Mohican, but he's a really busy man, of course. So
I don't think he's ever done 100, has he?
nope, nope. But I was hoping maybe he would do the Mohican Marathon, or I think they have a 50 miler as well. So
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah, I would. But so tonight, guys, I really just wanted to chat with Steven, just about his plans for this summer and his upcoming road marathon. It's pretty cool that we're doing road marathons. It's almost like we have kind of our schedules mirror each other almost.
Yeah, really. I know, right?
And I don't know who started it. I think you were definitely the one who, yeah, you signed up for Knoxville for the road marathon, and then I was like, man, I got to do it. I got to do
I
it.
know it's crazy. Like I don't know. I think it's the same for you. I mean, I've never done a marathon other than like in training and just long runs. But I've never done a road marathon before, and went from a half marathon straight to a 24-hour race. So yeah, I was excited to you know do something different. See how fast I can go in a marathon. I mean, my previous marathon PR is pathetic because it was just a training run. It's like, I don't know, it's probably still in the fives. It might be in the high fours, but it was on trail. So, for me, that's not very great. But yeah, I mean, I kind of had a goal last year where I wanted to stay off the trails some in the winter, just because I have a history of rolling my ankles and I didn't want to be injured again for 3 months. So I wanted to stay on the road, and I figured, you know what, I might as well do something with that. Let's do some good speed work, train well, and see what we can do in a marathon in the spring. And so that's what I'm doing.
That's probably what inspired me the most about what you were doing with your road marathon is the injury prevention side because I rolled my ankle pretty bad back in the fall, and it was right about that time I found out you were thinking about the marathon, and I was like, this is not a bad idea. I
Well, you look at like most professional ultra runners, for the most part. You look at Jim Walmsley, Anton Kaprichka. You got all the people out there. They typically take the winter as an off season. They do skimo, rock climbing, whatever, but they stay off the trails for the most part. And a lot of that is let their body rest and not get injured because when it's hiding under an inch to 6 inches of snow and leaves, you're just asking for trouble, and that's what's happened to me too many times. So yeah, I'm trying to stay off the. I think I'll make that a reoccurring theme in my training. Is the winter will be a road season where I'll get back to some speed.
Yeah, for me it was the leaves that one particular time, and I feel very blessed that I didn't break my ankle on that one. It was bad. It was
Yeah,
just
you
like,
were back pretty quick too. Like you were running that
yeah,
later that same week, weren't you, or the next week?
yeah, and actually I did. Actually, I kept running a little bit that day just to see if I could kind of walk it off type thing, and
Oh yeah.
I think it helped actually to get a little more mobility out of it before the swelling started up. But yeah, it was a that's the most I've rolled my ankle in a long time. So it kind of scared me, honestly. I was like, wow. I mean, if I did this, if it was, I got really lucky, and if it was worse, I might be not running races this summer. That kind of thing. So I was just really glad it wasn't that bad, and so I started thinking about the road marathon, man, and I almost signed up for Knoxville, which is where you're going to be going.
Yep.
But I decided to stay a little more local, especially since it's my first one, and so I'm doing the Flying Pig, which is in Cincinnati, as you know, and I think most of my viewers know at this point after my videos about it. But yeah, so I was actually looking at the comments here, and I didn't know. So Chad has not run a road marathon either.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think that may be a pretty common thing amongst ultra runners.
Yeah. Or just trail and ultra runners, because most of us do our long runs and races on trail. We don't,
Yeah,
I do a lot of training on the road, which I think, pretty much anyone really does unless they live right by a trail or maybe you're Chad who has those nice gravel roads to go run on.
yeah,
No, he does a lot of road running too, I see for sure. So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So Timmy is from Boston. I hope your weather's getting better, man, because I know the northeast is always just brutal in the winter. So I see that, and definitely, if you have any questions for either Steven or I, definitely hit us up in the chat. We're just kind of hanging out here, pretty informally. Anything really goes. We're talking about marathons. We're talking about ultra marathons. So race plans throughout the year. I know that Steven and I both have quite a bit on our calendars, and I think I have a few more races maybe than you do, but I think it's always ill-advised. I don't know why, but I'm such a sucker about it. I just like sign up for race after race. It's like, how am I going to actually train for these races? I don't know. But
Yeah.
tell us
No, I
about.
think
You go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think I've only got three actual races on the calendar this year, and well, technically two of them are registered. One's not even registered because registration hasn't opened yet. But my goals are going to be obviously the marathon coming up next weekend, so March 27th, and then in July I'm doing the Beaverhead 100K out in Idaho, which is a race you were looking at doing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for our schedules to sync up there, but me and my buddy Lee are going out. We're going to do that. And so that's going to be, I'm really excited for that one because that'll be my first time in Idaho, first time in Montana because I fly to Montana. And it's going to be the first time running higher than 6,600 feet because the race goes over 10,000 feet. no clue how that'll affect me. So we'll see, what happens. But looking forward to that. And then really the only other race that I'm eyeing is I've already committed to register because they want you to do that just to get an idea of how many people are going to be there for, because it costs a lot of money to put on. But once registration opens, I will be signing up for the Ozone Endurance Challenge, the 48-hour event.
That's
So
right.
that's the first ultra I ever did. It was the 24-hour one where I did 100 miles. So I'm going to go with this one. It's 48 hours, and I do plan to do as much as I can. So I'm hoping a minimum of 150 miles, hopefully, north of 170, maybe, but
Wow.
I have no idea. We'll see what happens. It's not a lot of elevation. I mean, I think each loop has like maybe 40 or 50 feet, and that's each loop is a mile. It's just a 1 mile loop around a lake, so it's real easy. But so I think over 100 miles, you're probably looking at 5,000 feet of elevation total. So nothing crazy, but that's really it for this year. So how about you? What are your goals? I know you have quite a few.
Well, real quick on your is it the ozone challenge? Is that what it's called?
Ozone Endurance Challenge.
Okay, is that a last man standing race or is it
Nope.
okay? Okay.
It's just a timed event where they do anywhere from, I think the minimum is 6 hours, but then they go all the way up to 96 hours. And there
Wow.
was a guy when I did it in 2018 who did 302 miles in the 96 hours. That's just insane. I mean, that guy he's a machine.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
One quick comment on Beaverhead. Yeah, so I was this close to actually I may have actually signed up for it.
I feel like you did actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I heard you were doing that, and I wanted to go out to Idaho, and which is where it is, right? Idaho, or is
Yeah,
it?
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so I was kind of torn between the I'm Tough 100 and Beaverhead, and then when I heard you were doing Beaverhead, I was like, oh man, this could be sweet. Like maybe I'll definitely try to sign up, and I think I told you I could do it, and I was so excited. And then I found out that my son's one of his lacrosse tournaments is actually on that particular weekend, and they only have 3 weekends in the summer for these big lacrosse tournaments, at least for his team. So there's just no way I could miss that, and yeah, it was heartbreaking. It really was. I was
Oh,
like,
I know.
man, that could have been so. I'm so glad that Lee was able to go out there with you, though. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's
So
going to be a lot of fun. We just had we had some travel issues pop up this last couple weeks with all the flight. I really have no idea, but they pretty much canceled our flight, even though we're still April, May, June, July, 4 months away.
yeah.
They already canceled the flight, so we had to book another flight at a much higher price and
Ooh,
get another rental car at a much higher cost. So yeah,
that's not fun. That's not fun
no,
at all.
all good though.
Yeah, so well, I'll get back to that region in a minute, but because I am going to end up not going to Idaho, but going to northern Utah when I run the Wasatch 100. But before that, I'm definitely, of course, I'm doing the Flying Pig Marathon on May 1st, first road marathon. Pretty psyched about that, which we've already mentioned. And then in June, I'm going to be going out to watch, not June, I'm sorry, July, or June 4th on my birthday. I'm going to be running the Mohican 100 again. So that's going to be really sweet. Hopefully finish for my third straight year. We'll see. I barely finished last year. I almost threw in the towel, but I was able to come back and finish on time. So I was pretty thrilled about that. And so exciting. I think we mentioned this before, but Tim is going to be there, who's in the chat right now, but also Ryan Day with I Run on Beer, who's a different YouTube channel, a great YouTube channel. Check it out if anyone is listening and hasn't. And also my brother Will is going to be there. So really, it's the whole crew back again for the Mohican 100, which is going to be really cool. Hoping that maybe this time everybody can finish, and it's just going to be a great time. So we're doing that in June, early June, and then I'm going out to Hard Rock in July for 2 weeks with my family. We're going to be
Wow.
camping out there, taking the camper out. I haven't taken a 2 week vacation in 10 years, so it's going to be
Oh
pretty
wow.
sweet to do that and watch Hard Rock and film it, hopefully, um, and maybe even do some pacing. We'll see. So that could be just amazing if I had that chance to do that. And then if I can get through all that, then in September I'm going to try to go back and do the Wasatch 100, and hopefully, fingers crossed, get my first Hard Rock qualifier done. So
Awesome.
That could be really cool. I'm really excited about this summer. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, the Wasatch is a pretty good race. What's the elevation gain on that? I know it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. I think it's maybe not as much as you'd think. I think it's like 25, 26,000. It's
Okay.
not as nearly as much as, Hard Rock, which is what, 33,000, I think.
No, Hard Rock's more. The Hard Rock's like 42, I think.
Is it? Because I thought Cruel Jewel was 33, and that was right about the same. I might
Cruel
be
Jewel's
wrong.
Cruel Jewel's 33.
I might
I
be
could have
wrong.
sworn I thought it was 42,000. And it's a lot. Either no matter what it is, it's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing about Wasatch is it's just there's a lot of isolation out there in the Wasatch Mountain Range, and so it kind of prides itself on limited aid. I mean, they do have plenty of aid. They take care of their runners, but it's not, you're out there. There's long stretches without aid, and the temperatures are known to fluctuate quite a bit. So some years they've actually had temps in the 20s
Oh wow.
at that time of the year in September, but then sometimes it gets all the way up to 90. So it's
Oh
pretty
my
brutal.
goodness.
Yeah, pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's a big variance right there. Hopefully not all in one day.
Yeah. I don't.
Right?
We'll have to see. I just want to finish it, man. When I DNF'd at Fat Dog like 3 years ago. That was just a bad decision to do that. I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong; it was a great experience. But my first 100-mile ultra attempt was to go to Fat Dog,
Whew.
and yeah, do 120, and I DNF'd at like mile 75,
Oh
um,
man.
and then and then of course Cruel Jewel last year was just that was rough. Man. I feel so terrible. I feel like I feel embarrassed, honestly. I only made it like 30 miles, and it was a huge wake up call. But so, Wasatch, that's going to be a tall order. I just hope that I'm able to be up to the task, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll
Looks
see.
like so Jeff has corrected. It's 33,000 feet of elevation gain.
I
Thanks,
knew
Jeff.
I knew I was close on that.
Yeah, you were right on. There's one out there that's 42,000. I can't remember which one it is. That I remember it being like a super. I can't remember now. I'm gonna have to look
um,
that up now.
I know, and Jeff's going to be all over me if I'm wrong on this. Fat Dog is 28, I believe. But the good thing with Fat Dog is it's not like the Colorado mountains. You're not hitting 14ers.
Okay.
The actual altitude tops off, I think, at 10 or 11,000. So,
Okay.
but you mentioned earlier about how you're going to do with elevation, with altitude out there for Beaverhead, and I think you'll do just fine, man. You're in really good shape. You're a great athlete because especially since it tops out at what 9 or 10,000 feet.
I think the highest it goes is about 10,200, I believe.
Yeah,
And I think it only goes over 10 once. So the average elevation of the race is 8,200 feet. So yeah, I mean, I know that it's not the same, but I'm going to spend as much time as I can in the Smokies. And
that's smart.
when I was up at LeConte, it was, almost 6,700 feet of elevation there. And I felt no difference whatsoever. My heart rate was fine. I didn't have a thick head feeling. A little, if I'm being totally honest, a little. My buddy Lee, he felt the elevation a little bit there, so hopefully he'll be okay. I'll be concerned for him, but I think he'll do well. He's super fit and in shape too, so I'm hoping that he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you guys will be fine. Just take it easy. And I've had altitude sickness once, and it was not fun. The story is, I think it was when I was about 23. I went with my buddy over the Fourth of July weekend out to Estes Park, so Rocky Mountain National Park, just north of
Yeah.
Denver. And we went from Kansas altitude, which is like 1,000 feet, all the way up to 10,000 feet, and hiked that entire next day after we finished driving to Colorado.
Whew.
And that was a poor choice because that night I felt sick to my stomach. Everything was going wrong. I had no idea why. I was sure that I had like a flu or maybe Giardia or something.
Oh
But
man.
it turns out the next morning I felt fine, and it was because I think it was a light case of altitude sickness. So
Oh,
yeah, I don't wish that on anybody. Anyway, so I'm seeing here. Let's see. I saw Jason Dad Adventures. Thanks for joining
yep.
us, man. Jason Dad has a great YouTube channel as well. I think he's just kind of getting it started, but he's sent me some messages. Check out his channel, and of course Jeff Pelletier. Jeff just mentioned the Ouray
Hooray.
100s. Yeah,
Yep.
Ouray.
That's the one.
And I know I've done a little bit of research and watched that. I think they have a couple videos um, of that race, and that does sound like an awesome race. It's almost like it's basically right there where Hard Rock is done.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a beast though. I can't remember the famous ultra runner. I can't remember his name now, but he's professional. He does a video about him out there doing that, and that's yeah, crazy. What is his name?
Yeah, I know exactly. I'm trying to come up right now. I'm thinking about
He
that
ran
too.
Georgia Death Race a couple years
Yep.
back. I remember that, and
He
did like
actually,
a 15-hour time.
I think
Crazy.
I think he ran Fat Dog recently as well. I think it's his wife or his partner.
Yes.
She just won Hard Rock
Yeah, right.
last year. So, and
Oh
he
my
was there
gosh,
kind of pacing her. I'm sure Jeff is going to probably
I
pipe in
know.
with the comment since
I'm totally blanking on that right now. Gosh.
Aaron,
No.
it's not an Aaron? I thought it was an
Is
Aaron.
it Aaron?
We're
I
supposed
don't
to be the
know.
experts here.
I know, right? Somebody in the comments correct us. Come on,
Yeah,
Jeff. No.
definitely. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's definitely tougher than Hard Rock, I believe. Yeah,
yeah,
from what I've heard.
and from what I know, Ure is, and I always mispronounce Ure,
I think it's
Ure,
Ure is how I've always heard it. Ure.
or Ure. I think
I've
it's,
heard Ure.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ure. Anyway, oh, here we go. Let's see. Jeff says he thinks it's tougher than Hard Rock, but easier to get in. Much easier to get in, that's for
Yeah.
sure. But I think Ure, I'm going to say Ure. It's basically it's like 3 or 4 out and backs, I think, where you start in downtown Ure and you go out for, 10 or 20 miles and then you come
Yeah.
back and then you go out and back and you kind of go up to the top of mountains each time you go out and back, I'm pretty sure. But actually, we're going to be staying for about 4 days there at Ure during Hard Rock. That's one of our
Sabr
main places. So,
Sabrina Stanley. That's the
yes,
girlfriend's name. That's
yes.
Sabrina Stanley. Avery Collins. That's his
Avery,
name.
not Aaron. Avery. Hey, I got the A right.
Yeah, you got an A. Sorry to interrupt, but it totally just hit me. So.
No, 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 that's right. Avery Collins, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an amazing athlete. It's fun to watch. Well, of
Yeah,
course,
he is.
Sabrina Stanley, man, she just
Yeah.
killed it at Hard Rock.
Didn't she win the Hurt 100 last year?
It,
I think she won the
did
Hurt.
she? I didn't know that.
I think.
She may have.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty sure she did.
I think Courtney and Sabrina are coming back for Hard Rock. I'm pretty sure this year.
Yeah, they both got drafted or picked. Yeah, obviously Sabrina's coming back, but yeah, Courtney's coming back.
Yeah, I hope Courtney has a better race.
Yeah.
She's obviously, I think probably in my opinion, the best ultra runner in the world right now. Other than there's a couple male runners that probably would give her a run for her money, but it's definitely the most talented female ultra runner. I'm sure Sabrina would take issue with that. She's really good too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Courtney winning UTMB,
Twice.
winning,
Yeah.
all kinds of races all over the place. So
Yeah, I think when you look at her body of work, I think the numbers show that she's probably one of the most winningest American ultra runners of all time.
yep. Yep.
Internationally and domestically. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that she blows the men out of the water. I think if you look at it as far as finishes.
Especially you look internationally.
Yep.
Yeah.
With UTMB, how many times has she won UTMB? Twice
She's won it
now?
twice in a row. Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I know Jeff Pelletier. Jeff's going to UTMB and he's going to run it.
I think both
So-
him and his wife, Audrey, I believe, are both going.
Yep, that's pretty
They're-
exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I can't wait for the videos of their fast packing the weekend before as well. It'll be good.
Oh,
Or the
yeah.
week before. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be out at Hard Rock too, so I'm looking forward to seeing him out there. There's going to be so many people out there. The field is absolutely stacked at Hard Rock this year, and so the athletes, there's going to be so many cool people there. And then of course
Yeah.
you're going to have a bunch of YouTubers and a bunch of people like us, normal people that are going to be out there. So it's just going to be a lot of fun, and I don't know. I'm hoping to get just a little bit of sleep that weekend. I'm not sure if I'll get much, but
Yeah. There was a question earlier from Chad.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through. He was wanting to know if we had any hopes or expectations for time for our races.
yeah,
So I'm going to talk about this more specifically next week on my channel, but I think for me personally, with it being my first road marathon, and this is I say very hilly, but for a road marathon, this is incredibly hilly. There's something I think about 1,600 feet of elevation gain, which for a trail race, that's nothing. But yeah, so I'm hoping my A goal is going to be like sub 3 hour 15, that pace. And then basically anything under 3:30, I'll be, of course, I'll be happy with. But I think between 3:15 and 3:20 is probably realistic from the training I've done. I've tried to be as realistic as I can as far as the same type of terrain with the hills and about the same elevation gain on my long runs. And yeah, I think if I do 7:15 or if I average about a 7:15 pace, that'll put me under that 3:15. So that's the goal, but it's a pretty stout goal. So we'll see if I can do it or if I blow up. I don't think I'll blow up just because in the training I've not had any issues up to like 23 miles. Is the further 23.4 I think is the furthest I've gone in training. So and that went pretty well. So I don't know. We'll see. How about you?
That's incredible, man. I can only dream of a 3:15 marathon.
Well,
So
I'm dreaming right now. It hasn't happened, so it
yeah,
might not.
I mean, I think you can do it. I mean, I know you can do it, especially after I saw that half marathon time you put down, what, 3 weeks ago, I think, on a
It's
weekend.
been a little more than that now. It's probably been
Has it
a little
really
over a
been?
month.
Okay.
Probably maybe even more than that. It's been a little while, yeah.
What was that, 120 something? 121?
No, it was a 1:30:50.
Still,
Yeah, it
130.
was
I mean,
yeah, it was fun.
and that was a training run early on. You probably even do better now. So, I mean,
Yeah, and we didn't even taper for that either. It was just
wow.
in the part of the
Yeah.
training week. So I'm hoping that I don't expect to do a 1:30 split and a half. In fact, if I do a 1:30 split, I will blow up and
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
So I'm not shooting for that at all. So especially with this race, there's a hill that everybody dreads somewhere around between mile and 7 and 8, and it's about a half a mile to three-quarter mile long hill that is pretty darn steep, and that's kind of the make or breaker. So you get past that point, there's some good rollers after that, but that's the biggest climb in the race. So I got to make sure and pace myself there.
Yeah, the Flying Pig also has a pretty significant hill. I think it's a little bit earlier. I think it's like maybe mile 4 or 5. The good thing is once you get to about the half marathon point, it's pretty much a net downhill from there till the
Oh,
finish,
nice.
which is awesome. There's a few rollers here and there for that second half, but in the beginning they hit you pretty hard with. I don't know if you've been to Cincinnati before,
Oh
but
yeah.
okay. So yeah, you can see how it's kind of it's like a river valley,
Hmm.
and the race goes up to one of the hills that surrounds the city. So it's called Mount Adams. It's
Oh yeah.
a little
There's a
town.
restaurant up there I
Yep.
think I've been to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the Pinnacle. I don't know.
No, I think it was the Rookwood.
The Rookwood. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets pretty hilly down there, and they make you do one of those hills.
Ooh.
I think, yeah. I don't know what I've been trying to figure out what the actual elevation gain is for the race, but it's at the beginning, and it'll take the energy out of your legs for sure. So my goals, I'll be honest, if I could break 3:45, I'll be very happy with that for my first road marathon.
Yeah.
I don't have right now. I don't have the fitness to be able to crack 3:30. I'm pretty certain. I am going to do a half marathon road race in about 2 weeks. Kind of my just pre gaming for the
Yeah.
marathon, and we'll see how I do. I'll probably I think my half marathon PR is a 1:34. So, if I were able to get like a 1:40 for the half coming up, I'd be really happy with that, and I think that put me in good position to break 3:45 or
Yeah.
something in that range. So I'm not going to put too much
Awesome.
pressure on myself, but I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a good race. I know one of my bosses or my boss's boss, whatever, he's run that race. I don't know, probably at least 5, 6 years in a row, and he's the type of guy that can go out and run a 2:30 real easily. So
Wow.
he's quick, but I'm sure he'll be there, and I'm sure Harvey Lewis will be there again, and all the usual crowd. It'll be a good race. That's a big one too. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's incredible. So after let's talk mountain races a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's see. So Mohican. So you're not going to do. What are you going to do after the marathon? Between the marathon and Beaverhead, what are you going to do? Just train really hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna start training basically for Beaverhead because I mean right now, with this race, yeah, it has a lot of elevation for a marathon, but it's not at all for what I need for Beaverhead. So I've been doing like maybe 3,000 feet a week, which is nothing. So, yeah, after Beaverhead, I mean, after the marathon, I'll definitely do like a little recovery for sure. But then I want to jump into some training. I've already talked to my coach about kind of some plans going forward of what I want to do and see what he's thinking as well. And that's kind of his goal as well is to start seeing how the body feels and reacts after the marathon, and then slowly ramp up mileage and elevation. One of my key things that I want to continue to do that I've noticed I really like during this marathon training is I want to continue to do speed work. I don't want to just switch to ultra mode and like not do any speed work and get slower again. Because I mean, that's when you're running ultras, it's like that seems to happen. You focus on
Yep.
going long, but yet you still, you can still benefit a lot from speed work. Your VO2 max increases, your aerobic base is there, it's better, and there's a lot of good benefits. And I like running faster, and I want to get better. So yeah, I want to keep doing speed work, but I'm definitely going to hit the mountains. All the long runs will be trails. I plan to be in the Smoky Mountains at least one weekend a month. Doing a good sizable long run with 6 to 12,000 feet of elevation gain, probably something like that. And the other weekends I'll be at Frozen Head, where I can easily get 6 to 10,000 feet of elevation gain easily. So that's the plan, is kind of get back to doing that 8 to 12,000 feet a week, where I used to be, what I used to do consistently. Get back to that and get the legs strong, because I mean they're fast now, my legs, but the climbing is not near what it used to be. And I found that out when I went to Frozen Head a couple weeks ago. I tried to run up one of the mountains. I used to be able to run like almost all the way up Bird Mountain. And last time I went out, I was like, okay, that's not going to happen today. We're gonna have to walk a lot more. So I got to get the mountain legs back for sure.
Yeah, I saw that video from that run. That's really really cool. You have the access to that, to all the mountains around you, including the Smokies.
Yeah,
To have pretty ready access to that is pretty awesome.
definitely
So
lucky. Yeah.
so when you're talking about not getting slow again, what you really are trying to say is you just don't want to end up like me.
No, it's like, well, when I was doing all that elevation training that I was doing, I was consistently putting up 40,000 foot months for a while,
That's awesome.
and I was in. I mean, I could climb all day, but I wasn't fast. I mean, I was average. I mean, I would finish in the top 10 in a lot of in 50Ks, things like that. But I want to be able to do. I've got some goals in the future where I want to maintain that speed and the climbing, because I want to do a sub 24 hour
Yeah.
at the No Business 100 in 2023. I'll be going there to get my double buckle, and that's rare to go sub 24 there. There's only a few people that have done that, so I want to do that. I want to run a sub 20-hour 100-mile race. I want to run a fast 50 at some point. I want to try to do an 8 9 hour 50-mile race. Uh, I want to try to run some fast stuff at some
Yeah.
time, so I want to keep it in the legs.
Man, you're gonna crush Beaverhead if you do that and you train smart and train as hard as you're talking about. I think you're gonna. I know you're gonna probably downplay Beaverhead and say what's my first mountain race and all that. I think you could crush it. So I think,
Well,
yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
awesome. I mean, you have the speed. You obviously have the, what is it, the mountain bona fides or whatever, whatever that word is.
Uh,
You have the ability, the talent to do the mountain work too, and the elevation gain and the vert. So you're gonna do awesome,
I
man.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, I'm going to train my best and do my best. We'll see what happens and what the altitude does. That's the
Yeah,
unknown. So
I
we'll
do not
see.
think you need to worry about that. I mean, it's you're good at planning, and you're obviously considering that as a factor, and you need to, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. You're gonna do great. That's exciting. I just wish I was gonna be there with you. But
Yeah, well, luckily we're going out on Wednesday, so I'll have like Thursday and Friday to go up in the mountains and get high and stay up there for a little while and just see how it affects me. Maybe try a little short run just
yeah,
to see how the heart rate reacts and see how it'll be. Because I mean, it could be a total crapshoot.
yeah. Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think there's kind of like two schools of thought with altitude. You either go and like go straight up to altitude without, to try and not acclimate, but you try to just get the run done and then get down, which I never understood why that made any sense whatsoever. Or you go early to acclimate, like you're going to do days, if not
Yeah.
weeks early. I mean, with that vert, you don't need that altitude. You don't have to worry about weeks,
Yeah.
but yeah. Um,
No. Yeah, I mean, ideally, if I could go out a whole week, would be much better
yeah.
than two
Who
days.
has time for
But
that?
I think that the town that we're staying in is like at 4,000 feet, so it's not high, but there's a mountain like literally. I think we can look out the hotel and see it right there. It's like 9,000 feet. So I'm definitely going to drive up that, and then we'll hang out up there. Probably I'm gonna take the drone. I'm gonna try to take the drone out with
Oh,
me when I
cool.
go and get some
Yeah.
good filming for the video. But yeah, just spend some time in the mountains and see how it goes. So yeah, that's time will
Yeah, I
tell.
am really excited about getting some drone footage at Hard Rock, and you have to be very, very careful. I applied for a media
Yeah.
pass, and the guy that you talk to is really nice, and just is really upfront with you. And so I asked him about that, and he's like, "Yeah, absolutely no drones on the course during the race." And actually, they start that rule from the beginning. They do like a Hard Rock boot camp kind of thing a couple days before the race,
Hmm.
and they include that. So you have to be
Oh
really
wow.
careful with drones at Hard Rock, but I think I will be able to get away with plenty of drone footage from before because we're going to be up there for a couple
Yeah.
weeks. So I just have to be careful with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's going to be so much fun to get drone footage up there. I mean, it's going to be,
Yeah, when you get it beforehand, you can
yeah,
easily edit it
right,
into the video and your
right.
B-roll, and it's beautiful. Jeff knows all about that if he's
Yeah,
still there, but
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious what did they give you any parameters as far as I know you said not on the course, but what does that define? Like no being over top of the course and over top of runners, or just not at all anywhere in the vicinity kind of
Basically,
thing?
not at all. Is the impression I
Wow,
got.
okay.
Now, if I'm on the other side of the mountain, then they're not going to be, and it's not. It's a few miles away from the course. I don't think they could say anything, but they
Yeah.
basically said we'll disqualify your runner if you're going to be there supporting somebody, which I am. We'll disqualify
Wow.
your runner if we find out that you were doing it during the race. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to.
Yeah, I
And
want to chance
you
that.
only get usually only get one time in your life to run Hard Rock. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
usually unless you're a Courtney Dauwalter or a Sabrina Stanley,
Yeah.
but so
Yeah.
I'll be careful and I'll probably do the majority of it before, but most likely after the race. And I won't get many shots with runners, but I don't really need it. You can just B-roll it in, like you said, patch it into the video, and no one will know any
Yeah.
difference. So, but
I was just laughing at Jeff's comment. He says that reminds me I should apply for a media
oh,
pass.
Jeff, I thought you were going to be on top of that. You're the pro.
I know, man.
I'm like the
No.
wannabe, but yeah, I talked to I can't remember the guy's name, the media coordinator, really really nice guy, and he's like, yeah, no problem, we'll get you a media pass, so but just got to follow the rules. So, but
Yeah. I need to reach out to I haven't done that yet. I need to reach out to the race directors at Beaverhead as well, just to make sure. I'm not going to obviously take my drone during the race since I'm running, so I guess it probably really wouldn't matter. But I'm definitely going to do it beforehand.
yeah.
Before I actually it won't even really be on the course, the mountain that we go up to. So just the general
Yeah, and
area.
with like I'm sure with all races, the Hard Rock, they allow runners to bring whatever they want. So if you're a runner and you
Yeah.
want to take a GoPro or whatever, they encourage that. But I'm not obviously running. I wish I was, but so I'm different. I'm not as privileged as some of those, but it's gonna be great. Yeah, Beaverhead. I mean, obviously Hard Rock's gonna be a lot more higher profile. So it's
Yeah, for
Beaverhead
sure.
probably you probably get away with a lot there. They probably wouldn't care, but.
Yeah, I hope to get a good video together. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah, I think you will. Oh, I know you will. I'm excited to watch it. So, but
Mm.
yeah, man. So let's see. So we talked about some of the mountain racing. Oh, I do want to come out, and I keep saying this, and so you're starting to wonder if I'm actually going to do it. But I do want to come down there, man, and I want to run the Smokies with you a little bit. So we'll have to
Yeah,
make that
man.
happen this summer as we're both training for these races.
Well, I'm telling you, after next weekend, starting in April, so it really just be 3 months, April, May, and June. I'm going to be there at least once. So let's find a weekend
Yeah.
together where it works. And I know it won't be the weekend of June 18th. That's the weekend we have put a race on here.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, we'll be in the either at Frozen Head or at the Smokies, getting as much elevation as we can. And like the route that I did just a few weeks ago, where I did a video on it, we'll probably do that one a couple of times, just because that's one of the highest elevation routes you can get in the Smokies, as far as where you stay up above like
Yep.
5,000 feet for the majority of the run, just to get as high as I can and get as many red blood cells as I can, even though it's not that high, but just try to get as much as I can to see if it helps.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Yeah, and the Smokies, that's really a good place to be as far as
Oh
getting
yeah.
plenty of vertical gain. It's not like the farm fields in Ohio and Indiana where you don't. It's very, very flat in these parts. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's one fun run that would be cool to do. Me and Lee have joked about doing it, but I'm sure we'll do it at some point. It's called I think it's called the Tour of LeConte or Tour LeConte. But basically, it's where you go up every route up to LeConte.
wow.
And I think it's like 4 routes you can take to get up there. So it ends up being like a marathon, but the elevation gain is, I think, around 13, 14,000 feet of
Oh,
elevation
wow.
gain. It's pretty crazy. So that'd be a fun one to do though, and that'd be an all day kind of slog.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. So I say awesome, meaning awesome in a very painful way. But
Yeah. Be good trading.
the video you made when you and Lee were out there recently was really pretty, by the way. You had a great day
Oh,
out there.
so beautiful
Yeah,
out there. Couldn't have asked for better weather. I
yeah,
mean, it was cold and icy, but I mean, with that cold weather, there was no smoky that you're used to in the seeing. You get up high and all you see is clouds or whatever, but it was just crystal clear,
wow.
beautiful. Yeah, it was
That is
amazing.
really neat. Are you from that area? Have you lived in that area your whole life, or did you move there at some point?
Just about. Yeah, I mean, I actually lived in the Smokies in Western North Carolina for like 17 years of my life, way before I became a trail runner, unfortunately, because I lived in like trail runner mecca of the East
Yeah,
Coast. But yeah, I didn't, unfortunately, I hiked a lot of those trails, but I never ran them until now. So yeah, I've kind of lived there and then in East Tennessee area for most of my adult life. Yeah, or yeah, and a lot of my younger life.
that's cool. That's cool. I actually have a bunch of family on my mom's side who are from down there near Gatlinburg. In
Oh,
Wares
okay.
Valley is right there, and her
I know where that
her
is. Yeah.
my mom's like one of her great uncles is Mr. is Ware, whoever whatever his first name is, Mr. Ware. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they
He's the
apparently
where.
they're one of them. I mean, it's a big family
Yeah.
down there, but they that my grandmother's dad helped put power lines in there down in the mountains in that
Oh,
area,
wow.
and she lived a very humble um, childhood in the mountain, just mountain life, and very very
That's awesome.
poor, but very, I think, very satisfying because they're in the mountains, and she had plenty of stories about bears and growing up, about wildlife, and so I always heard those growing up, and we would go down there and visit. So I actually do have quite a bit of personal connection down there to that area. So
Awesome.
you're about an hour away
Hey,
from there, is that right? From Gatlinburg, or is it further?
no, it's
Okay,
about 2 hours, a little over
okay,
2 hours to get over there. So like when I go over there, unless the family's going, which they'll probably go once, maybe more, but I'm really probably just gonna convert my van to the van camp setup and go camp and dirt bag it and just run and keep it cheap. Gotta save money.
yeah. No, actually, one of the first videos I watched on your channel, I think it was one of the first, was the one where you and your wife talked about how you converted your van to be able to take it to races and stuff. And I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. Really cool.
Oh yeah, it's nice. You can just pull up and don't have to set up a tent or anything. You can just get in
Yep.
the van. And back when I did the LC Enduro back in 2020, before I was doing YouTube, I we went and camped out the night before the race, and it got so cold that night. It was down to like the 20s, and we ended up like starting the van and letting it run almost all night because we were so cold in there. I was like, learn my lesson in winter races. Don't do it in the winter. Don't van camp in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the mountains down there can get really cold. Like you guys get snow pretty
Yeah.
late in the season too, right? I mean, not
Okay, we just had snow this last
wow,
weekend,
wow,
about 5 inches
wow.
actually. It was
There's
surprising.
plenty of stories of people getting into real trouble up in those mountains, thinking they can just go down there and hike for like a long day hike, and they get stuck up there in the snow, and they
Yeah.
don't realize that it snows up there in the Appalachians like that. So in the Smokies.
Well, when we got the 5 inches last weekend, like Mount LeConte, they got I think over 12 inches up there,
Wow.
and they get windstorms up there where it's 90-mile-an-hour winds at the top of that mountain. It's just crazy. It's yeah, you wouldn't think it, North
Right.
Carolina, but it's insane. Yeah, the weather can be totally different up there.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm going to kind of change it up just a little bit. And I know we don't have all night here, but I was going to ask you I don't think we've talked about this before, but what goals do you have long term as far as ultra trail running or otherwise? as far as running. What goals do you have as far as races? Are there any in particular that you are have your sights set on in the future? Anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I of course want to run Western States. I mean, I think you can't really be an ultra runner and not want to run it at some point in your running. So yeah, what I really want to do that. That's kind of my short-term goal is to keep doing qualifiers to get into that race. I want to do UTMB. I want to go to Chamonix. I want to do that. It's gorgeous. Um, Outside of those races, I'm not really. I would. I might throw my name in the hat for Leadville next year just to start that process because that would be kind of cool too. Hard Rock, not yet. Hasn't really intrigued me too much. Just not yet. I'm sure it will. I want to do some longer stuff. I really want to do a 200 at some point, and then just kind of push the body and see. I really, after watching Jeff's racing Namib series he did on the Namibia desert, that's kind of piqued my interest in not desert racing, but stage racing like that. Do something along those, 250 kilometer, 300 kilometer kind of thing, and carry your kit with you the whole way. It sounds pretty neat. So I kind of want to do one of those maybe at some point, but I've also got a couple of long, like FKT kind of things I really want to do. One I tried to do before and failed, and I want to go back and do that again. And there's some other ones that are longer, and yeah. So I've got a lot of goals, I guess. Some. Yeah, how about you?
I'd just like to get a Hard Rock qualifier, honestly. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much, even though I don't think I'll ever get
Yeah.
into Hard Rock. But I would like to have a qualifier, so I can at least apply and say I have. Western States, of course, I'll keep putting my name in the hat, and maybe in 6 or 7 years or 8 years, who knows how long it'll take, maybe I'll get into Western States. And that would be great. I do like the stage race thing. I'm not sure I would have the time to dedicate to that, but maybe. A 200 miler has always intrigued me, just because of just how much it would take to do, and
Yeah.
I just think it's a huge accomplishment. But again, kind of like the stage racing, it takes up a lot of time, so you got to kind of figure out how to. I'm always having to figure out, how to work the family into it and make sure that we keep our priorities straight. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, obviously, I know you understand that too. So it's always a challenge, and so we'll just have to see. But those are probably the similar goals that similar things you mentioned. I'm not sure how I'd rank them though. I think Western States probably honestly isn't that high on my list. I mean, I would do. I'm going to put my name in the hat, and I would definitely do it if I got in. The
Yeah.
200 miler might be the highest, and I hope my wife's not watching this because she'll think I'm insane. But just Bigfoot or Tahoe,
Yeah.
Bigfoot 200 Tahoe tour,
Tahoe would be
or
cool.
even
Yeah.
down in Utah, the 240. I always forget the name of that one. What is that? Yeah.
Oh, is that the bear? No, that's not the
Well, the bear
bear.
is a 100 miler. That's actually
Oh, no, I thought
that's
isn't there a 200 as well?
there's a bear 100 that's in Utah. That's actually close to the Wasatch
Uh,
100.
oh, okay.
Um, oh
I don't
shoot,
know.
this is bad that I can't remember, but it's a 240 miler down in I think it's southern Utah. But I would do any of those three. I think the idea of doing all three in a year is insane. I could never do that, but
Yes.
watching
Yeah.
watching that happen on Ryan's videos the last couple of years with the gentleman who did that down there, I thought was really cool. So
Yeah. I think for me, like where I'm at in my journey, my running journey, as I like to call it, I think I would want to do like some faster 100s before I go to the 200 distance.
yeah,
Um,
capitalize on that
like
speed
I definitely
for sure.
like I definitely want to do. I was trying to do it this year, but it didn't work out. So maybe next year, do like Tunnel Hill possibly, or there's one in Illinois. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's like a crushed gravel flat 100 where somebody who's in good shape could go do like a 12-hour time. That's not going to be me, but I mean I could maybe do maybe I don't know, an 18-hour time. Who knows? But I want to try that. Try to get some faster times in there before I go to the training for the 200 because that's going to be a lot of
Yeah,
slower
hiking
miles.
pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah,
Another fast
exactly.
100 is the Rocky Raccoon 100. I don't know if you watch Nick Muir's
Yeah,
channel. Yeah,
I did. I watched that video. It was
he
good.
has basically no experience. I mean, he's an incredible athlete and former Army Ranger and all this,
Oh yeah.
but he's just now getting into ultra running. Ran Leadville, but then did the Rocky Raccoon. I've done Bandera, the 100-kilometer race down there in San Antonio, but that's very hilly and much different, and it's 100K. But Rocky,
The Rocky Raccoon, like, what is the elevation on
basically,
that? Because I know he was saying there was some
I
hills,
don't,
a
very
couple,
little.
but
It,
it
it doesn't, the Rocky part doesn't make much sense. I don't know why they call it that because from what I know, it's a bunch of pine needles basically.
roots. I've heard it's
Is
really
it?
rooty though, like a lot of like tree roots coming through
I've
the
heard it's
ground.
incredibly flat, but yeah, that might be
Yeah.
one to check out. But I think Tunnel Hill, like you said, or whatever that, the one up there in Illinois, I think is that's maybe the fastest from what I've heard.
Not Illinois. The other one I'm thinking of is Indiana, not Illinois. I think it's
Is it?
Indiana. I can't remember now. Yeah. I have one of my subscribers, Sean, he just ran it and I think he did like a 19-hour time there, which is
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Super fast. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your PR for the 100 miler?
23:18, 23:13.
You have the sub of 24. I knew it. I remember seeing that. That's awesome.
Well, that was like my first ultra, so that was really before I started training well. So I think if I go out and train for one, I feel pretty confident I could. I know that if I didn't, I know people say this all the time, but if I didn't do this, I could have done this. But I feel very confident. Had I not rolled my ankle last year at no business, I would have gone
Really,
sub
that's great.
24. I had the training. I mean, I still did like 27 hours and 6 minutes after rolling my ankle at mile 18. So I really feel like I could have gone sub 24. But it's who would have known? So yeah, I want to. That's my goal in 2023. I want to do that. So
That's
we'll see.
awesome. Yeah, I uh, I think I.
Moab
That's
240.
right. I
That's the
saw that
one.
Jeff said that. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, Moab 240.
Jeff always with the answers.
Yeah, I mean that's a beast of a race. It's so pretty down there too, in the Southwest like that, with all the reds and the pastel colors and everything. Just really the rock
Yeah.
formations. But I think, yeah. Let me ask you this: right now, sitting right now, what would be the number one race if you could run any race this summer? You know, forgetting about lotteries or anything, what would you do?
Hmm. Finances take that out of the picture
Yeah,
too, I
finances,
guess.
everything's yeah. Just you get to choose.
Oh man, probably UTMB.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I mean, just to go run in the Alps and go over there and see that beauty. I mean, yeah, I think that's got to be at the top of the list. Probably followed by Western States for me, probably.
yeah. I think UTMB would be awfully high on that list. Just
Yeah.
because the Alps just are so beautiful. I actually, short story, I learned how to ski in the Alps. So
Oh
my
wow.
dad was in the Air Force, and we were stationed in Germany for
Yeah.
3 years, and I learned how to ski there. And even as a, I was only 8 years old, but I have so many good memories of the mountains down there in the Alps, just because they're so beautiful. They just had just a huge impression on me. Um,
Wow.
and I went back and skied again in Innsbruck, Austria, back in college, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago. So I think you're right. I think UTMB or CCC, one of those races there,
Yeah.
just to be in Chamonix and be able to be a part of that, I think would be just amazing. I think.
Yeah. I think any of those CCC, or UTMB,
Right.
TDS. I mean, or Tour de Jean. Any of those would be really cool to go do at some point.
Yeah.
So I've noticed Chad
Well,
had a question there for us too. He said, other than running, do you have any other special interests or hobbies that viewers may not know about? How about you there,
well,
Dan?
um, I don't know. I'm pretty obsessed with running right now, to be honest. A lot of YouTube. So, I mean, YouTube for sure. It takes a lot of my time now. I used to be into triathlons a little bit. I did a couple of those in years past.
Oh, wow.
I used to be a swimmer in high school, and I was a runner as well. And I've always enjoyed biking, so it kind of worked out for me to do some tries. Yeah,
Awesome.
nothing major, just sprint, short triathlons. I think I may have done an Olympic length one time. But so I used to do that. I don't know. It's pretty sad that I'm that obsessed with running right now that I can't think of much else.
No, so you find something you like and, stick with it. I'm the same way. I mean, I don't, yeah, running, you know, running and YouTube. Those are my two interests, out. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else either.
It's funny. My wife, if she was listening right now, she'd say the same. She'd be like, "Yeah, it's running. That's all you do. That's all you think about."
Yeah.
Like I know, like I can't help myself, and it's not a bad. My only response to that is it's not a bad obsession to have because it's so healthy and so
Yeah.
good for you generally. But yeah, running is just it takes up and YouTube. I really enjoy YouTube. I love creating things. That's something
Yeah.
that I don't get to do a whole lot with my profession. So having that creative outlet is a lot of fun. And then I guess the only other thing I would say, and there's always something else, right? I really enjoy coaching. So, and I recently
Oh,
started
okay.
coaching my daughter in track, and that's been really, really cool to do that. So,
Yeah. I saw that video.
yeah,
That's neat.
it's been a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
do you do anything with your kids as far as activities or
I don't coach.
sports?
I don't coach. They three of them play
Ah,
soccer.
yeah.
But no, I don't. I'm not the coaching type. I was former Army, and that would probably come out of me, and I'd be like, giving them knife hands and like, no, I would not be a good
You'd
coach.
be like, work on your game.
Yeah, that's right. Suck it up,
Yeah,
Buttercup. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm a little bit that way too because I'm an Air Force brat. So coming from
Yeah.
my dad being in the Air Force for 20 years, so I bring some of that to the table. But I try to. In the end, I'm probably too nice to be too much of a hard ass. But so. But man, I've taken up an hour a year. It feels like no, it's
A
been an
year.
hour
Yeah.
of your time, and so just out of respect for your time, I was going to ask anyone who's watching if you have any other questions before we draw this to a close. So if anybody does, definitely put it in there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It was great catching up, of course, with Steven.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been fun.
it's a good time,
Yeah.
man. I'm looking forward to running with you sometime. This YouTube thing is
I
so
know you
weird.
need to come down
What was
and
that?
need to come down and do our race here. Bring the camper. You can camp and do our race in
Yeah.
June, man.
Oh, I have one question for you, real quick, and maybe we'll finish on this note. Um, you have run the Barclay marathons, one of the other races, the feeder races that they have, right?
The
The
Fall
Fall Classic.
Classic, the Barclay Fall Classic.
Tell us
Yeah.
about that. Like, how is that as crazy as Barclay is as far as the difficulty? I know it's not quite as difficult, but
No.
is it like a secretive race, kind of like Barclay, or is it more like anyone who wants to participate can? What's tell us about that?
Yeah, so the Barclay Fall Classic is a race where it's on Ultra sign up. Anybody can go
Okay.
and sign up on the lot. It is a lottery, so you have to get selected, and it's kind of a weighted lottery. It's Laz, so he's gonna be finicky. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough race for sure. I mean, it's usually anywhere from 32 to 36 miles, about 13,000 feet of elevation gain. Jen, I've done it twice. I've completed it twice. That's the map on the wall back there
Oh,
from one
cool.
of them. Um, then, yeah, but I mean, if you talk to Barkers, people who've done Barkley, I mean, they'll tell you that Rat Jaw's one of the easier climbs that they do because they get to shut off their mind. They don't have to navigate. You just climb.
Yeah.
It's a clearing, and you just go up. It's it. Whereas the other ones are, you have to navigate. You have to, find secure footing. There's no, it's just totally different. So I think you really can't compare that. I mean, I guess it gives you, yes, a very small taste of one of the climbs, but I mean, you do eight, nine of those climbs in one loop, basically. But you're navigating, so it's really not very comparable to it. But it's a fun race. It is a challenge. If you like hard things, that's a great race to do because it is tough and it'll show you where your fitness is for mountains. That's for
So
sure.
it's more than a 50K, but basically it's
Oh
what
yeah.
you said it's 34, 35 miles.
Yeah, so when I did it in 2019, it was almost 36
Okay.
miles. And of course, they don't allow GPS watches, so this was just taking the map, plotting it on like GaiaGPS.com and getting a rough estimate. So that's what I did. But roughly 36 miles and about 13,000 feet of elevation gain. And then when I did it in 2020, which was a very peculiar year for the race, but when I did that, it was right at 32 miles. But again, that was about a little over 12,000 feet of elevation gain. So he'll say it's a 50K and it's a net downhill, and it's tough though.
Wow. I bet it is. I bet it is. We did have one comment here from John Gardner. He says, and I don't know if Steven's going to want to respond to this or not, but he says, is UltraTrail Steven legally clear to verbally comment on last weekend's festivities at Frozen Head?
Oh, I don't care. It's in public knowledge from what's on the internet, and there's other people that have covered it a lot more detail than I ever provided. Showing video on course and talking about things on course more than I ever did. So, yeah, it was cool last weekend watching Jasmine go out and be the first woman to do a fun run since 2009. Or not 2009, but it might have been 2009. It's been a long time. I forget, a long time. And then Carl out there, and I cannot remember the guy's other name now. It's slipping my mind. But the other guy that did 4 loops was out. Those 2 guys, just amazing. And the stories hearing from Guillaume and John, it's just, yeah, it was cool to follow it on Twitter
Did
still.
someone get lost and ended up being in some town nearby or something?
That was Carl. Yeah, he was out on his 4th loop and got lost and ended up in Petros. And there were reports of the neighbors. People were saying that there was an Indian woman scaring people, and it was him running around. He got brought back to the camp by the sheriffs, the local sheriff's department. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, man, for your time. And I guess I'll leave the floor to you if you have any comments or anything else, and then we'll draw it to a close here.
No, it's been good, man. It's fun. Always fun chatting with you and hanging out. One of these days we will have to run a race together and link up. It's our goals are very similar. We just need to pick a race and go do it.
That's right. And maybe we won't have lacrosse tournaments that get in the way.
Yeah, right.
So. All right, man. Well, it was a real pleasure as always. And to all the viewers, those who did hang out, thank you so much for doing that. We really enjoyed some of the comments, and it's always fun. So I guess with that, we will say, you know what? We'll see you next time. And thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you all.